Good afternoon. We'll call this meeting of the Allegheny County Board of Legislators to order for January 8, 2025. Please rise as we're led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Legislator John Rickey.
Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain upstanding as we're led in invocation by Legislator Gretchen Hanchett.
Father, thank you for calling us together as we start this new year, looking at our priorities and doing the best for the people that we represent. Thank you for all our first responders who so gallantly have started out with and took care of us in our communities. May we move forward prioritizing our tasks that best represent our constituents and our communities, and we ask for your grace and blessing as we move forward. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Bill. Roll call, please.
Mr. Barnes? Mrs. Burdick? Here. Mr. Curran?
Here.
Mr. Sear?
Present.
Mr. Demick?
Here.
Mr. Fanton? Mrs. Hanchett?
Here.
Mr. Harris?
Here.
Mr. Havey?
Here.
Mr. Healy?
Here.
Mr. Ricky?
Here.
Mrs. Ricketts Swales?
Here.
Mrs. Root? Here. Mr. Rumfelt? Mr. Stocken?
Here.
14 present, 1 absent.
Thank you.
You are provided a copy of the board meeting minutes of December 20th. At this time, we need a motion to approve those minutes.
Motion by Legislator Root, seconded by Legislator Hanchett. Any additions or corrections to those minutes? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those are approved.
You are also provided a copy of the organization meeting minutes of January 2nd, and we need a motion to approve those minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Havey. Seconded by Legislator Fanton. Addition or corrections? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved. This time, we welcome comment from any members of the public. Are there any members of the public here today that wish to address the board? If not, is there anything on our desks today?
Yes, on your desk is a report of the interfund transfers and tax bill corrections approved by the county administrator in December. We received an invitation to join Houghton University, Alfred State College, and the Cuba Chamber of Commerce as they honor Leadership Alleghenies class of 2025 on Friday, January 24th at the Palmer Opera House at 5:30, and RSVPs are required, and I also forwarded you an electronic copy of that invitation. We received correspondence dated January 2nd from the New York State Department of Transportation confirming receipt of our resolution number 43824 regarding the Advanced Clean Truck Rule, and they noted that they continue to work with the Department of Environmental Conservation and will share our feedback.
Resolutions?
Resolution intro number 525. Creation of 4 full-time positions of Assistant Heavy Equipment Mechanic within the Department of Public Works. This resolution is being offered by the Public Works and Personnel Committees and has both committees' approval.
Mr. Fanton makes the motion, seconded by Legislator Demick. Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Burdick?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Sear? Mr. Demick?
Yes.
Mr. Fanton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hanchett?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mr. Ricky?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricketts Swales?
Yes.
Mrs. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Stocken?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
14 ayes, 1 absent.
That resolution's approved.
Resolution intro number 625. Reappointment of 4 members to the Citizens Advisory Council to the Office for the Aging. This resolution is being offered by the Human Services Committee and has committee approval.
Motion by Legislator Burdick, seconded by Legislator Ricketts Swales. Discussion? This resolution can be voice voted. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That's carried. Would anyone care to make a motion to block resolutions intro numbers 8 of 25 and 9 of
We
25?
still have to do resolution.
Oh, excuse me, I skipped one. Go ahead, ma'am.
Resolution intro number 725, reappointment of 2 members to the Allegheny County Community Services Board. This resolution is being offered by the Human Services Committee and has committee approval.
Legislator Burdick makes the motion, seconded by Legislator Ricketts Swales. Discussion? This resolution can also be voice voted. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, and that's approved. And now seeking a motion to block resolutions intro numbers 8 of 25 and 9 of 25. Thank you, Legislator Root, seconded by Legislator Ricky. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, and that's carried.
Resolution intro number 825, reappointment of 1 member to the Allegheny County Planning Board. Resolution intro number 925, reappointment of ex officio members to the Allegheny County Planning Board. These resolutions are being offered by the Planning and Development Committee and have committee approval.
Motion made by Legislator Root, seconded by Legislator Hanchett. Discussion? Both these resolutions can be voice voted. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, and those resolutions are approved.
Resolution intro number 1025, acceptance and appropriation of donation funds received by the County of Allegheny through its Department of Social Services from the First Presbyterian Church for the Child Advocacy Center. This resolution is being offered by the Human Services and Ways and Means Committees and has both committees' approval.
Legislator Burdick makes the motion, seconded by Legislator Ricketts Swales. Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Burdick?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Seer?
Yes.
Mr. Demick?
Yes.
Mr. Fanton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hanchett?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mr. Ricky?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricketts Swales?
Yes.
Mrs. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Stockin?
Yes.
And Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
14 ayes, 1 absent.
That resolution's approved. Would anyone care to make a motion to block resolutions with intro numbers 11 of 25 through 14 of 25? Thank you, Mr. Fanton, seconded by Legislator Hanchett. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, and that's carried.
Resolution intro number 1125, approval of preschool service provider and evaluation service agreement between the County of Allegheny and Michaela Bowl for the preschool program for the Department of Health, authorizing the chairman of the board to execute said agreement. Resolution intro number 1225, approval of agreement between the County of Allegheny and Hover Networks Incorporated for a phone system for the Department of Health WIC office, ratifying the County Public Health Director's signature on said agreement. Resolution intro number 1325, approval of renewal agreement between the County of Allegheny and the New York State Department of Health for the Comprehensive Family Planning and Reproductive Health Program, grant period number 4 for the Department of Health, authorizing the chairman of the board to execute said agreement. Resolution intro number 1425, approval of renewal of agreement between the County of Allegheny and the New York State Department of Health for the Early Intervention Administration Grant Period Number 4 for the Department of Health, authorizing the chairman of the board to execute said agreement. These resolutions are being offered by the Human Services Committee and have committee approval.
Legislator Burdick makes the motion, seconded by Legislator Ricketts Swales. Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Burdick?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Seer? Mr. Demick?
Yes.
Mr. Fanton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hanchett?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mr. Ricky?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricketts Swales?
Yes.
Mrs. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Stockin?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
14 ayes, 1 absent.
Those resolutions are approved.
Resolution intro number 1525. Approval of agreement between the County of Allegheny and the Cattaraugus County Sheriff's Office for law enforcement coordination services for the Child Advocacy Center for the Department of Social Services, authorizing the chairman of the board to execute said agreement. This resolution is being offered by the Human Services Committee and has committee approval.
Legislator Burdick makes the motion, seconded by Legislator Ricketts Swales. Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Burdick?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Seer? Mr. Demick?
Yes.
Mr. Fanton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hanchett?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mr. Ricky?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricketts Swales?
Yes.
Mrs. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Stockin? Yes. Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
14 ayes, 1 absent.
That's approved.
Resolution intro number 1625, approval of amendment number 2 to the agreement between the County of Allegheny and Pictometry International Corporation for aerial imagery projects for the Office of Planning, authorizing the chairman of the board to execute said agreement. This resolution is being offered by the Planning and Economic Development Committee and has committee approval.
Motion by Legislator Root, seconded by Legislator Hanchett. Discussion? Mr. Healy.
I'd just like to remind everybody, and especially any listening public out there, that this is another service we provide that benefits our local municipalities and our nonprofits and such, that they can utilize this. It helps them with their grant applications. It's a very good investment. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Burdick?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Seer? Mr. Demick?
Yes.
Mr. Fanton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hanchett?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mr. Ricky?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricketts Swales?
Yes.
Mrs. Root? Mr. Stockin? Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
14 ayes, 1 absent.
That's approved. How would you prefer the reading of the audit today?
Collectively and by totals, please.
So moved by Legislator Stockin, seconded by Legislator Fanton. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? That's approved.
General government support, $255,193.12. Education, $210,230.85. Public safety, $299,203.60. Health, $133,601.64. Bus transportation, $12,152.47. Economic assistance and opportunity, $1,019,145.01. Culture and recreation, $1,519.85. Home and community services, $44,270.73. Our general fund totaled $1,975,317.27. Payroll and taxes totaled $1,325,183.85. Our capital fund totaled $894,270.71. Our other funds totaled $1,589,071.98. For a grand total of $5,783,843.81.
Is there a motion to approve the audit? Motion by Legislator Hanchett, seconded by Legislator Ricky. Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Burdick?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Seer?
Yes.
Mr. Demick?
Yes.
Mr. Fanton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hanchett?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mr. Ricky?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricketts Swales?
Yes.
Mrs. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Stockin? Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
14 ayes, 1 absent.
That's approved. Mr. Stockin.
A question that maybe just my confusion at this age in life, but at our Public Works meeting this afternoon, there was a resolution passed. I thought I remember him saying something about us pending approval this afternoon at this meeting. Am I way off base?
I think it's going to be approved on January 22nd, from my understanding.
Okay. I thought they wanted to start work tomorrow. Thank you.
Mr. Fanton, any insight? Nothing. Mr. Demick, anything?
No,
Yeah.
I thought
Okay.
the same thing.
I think Mr. Windus mentioned that, and that's, but,
That's the reason we do.
Well, we're here until 2:45 for special personnel, so worst case scenario, we could slop together a special board meeting or special committee of the whole.
Mr. Chairman, what I would do at this point is just recess this board meeting.
Okay. All right, we will recess and get an answer for you and reconvene. We've got time, so. No, that's all right. Okay, we're in recess. If we could pause the video, please. We need 24 hours to call special.
I'm sure that he was planning on it for January